This skull may look familiar if you've been on my channel before. I made a skull that flashes using a spiky bouncy ball. Only the skull didn't work out right. The eyes got very sticky and they just wouldn't set properly. I probably took it out of the mould way too early. So I didn't know what to do with it. And then I thought, well, it looks a mess. Let's make it messier. So I had some clay, air dry clay, Das. It's really nice clay to work with. And this one's a stone colour. So I thought I'd make a little bit of a fantasy land around the skull. Like a fairy castle type, under the sea. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's a mishmash. But I added some flashing lights to it because I no longer could hit it hard enough to make the ball flash in case the clay broke. I really enjoyed doing this. It really takes me out of my own brain just to be able to create and use my hands to create things with. The clay is absolutely lovely to work with, and it takes a while to dry. Once it's dry, it's rock hard, except for later on you'll notice that the little chimney on the top, because I kept adding water to it, paint, then water, paint and water, it came off. But all I did was stick it back on and put some paint over the top and let it dry again, and it was fine, absolutely fine. I use acrylic paints. They leave a nice shine to them. I wasn't going to paint all the back of the skull brown, but I kept looking at it and thinking, well, it's part of the wood that looks like wood. So I'd paint it, and then the stones at the bottom I made like a purpley brown wash just to make it like stone. And there's lots of little bits of treasure stuck around the bottom, some little gems and like sea urchin type things, little mushroomy type things. And I made the ladder out of lollipop sticks, just broke them up and put some wire around them. And the glasses were just wire bent into shape and then twisted around to make it stronger. There's also some resin pieces in there that I'd made that I thought weren't good enough to use as like jewellery. I thought, well, why waste them? So this really is a mix of bits and bobs that I had laying about, that I'd saved, and stuff that I couldn't use. See, the window at the back, that is from, you know, those little glitter pots that you get, and the really thin glitter pots. Well, I'd finished the glitter, so I thought I'd add that on the back, and the lights would shine through really nicely when you switch them on. The door has got a little hole in it, like a little tiny window, and in the dark it really glows up. It's really pretty. I made a wash to go over the teeth as well, to make the teeth look really grimy, like it's been stuck underwater for years. And the little bits of moss and whatever else you find, seaweed, stuck on the doors and around the window. And little coloured bits just to make it look like it got a little bit of flowers on it. I had to glue the ladders down when I'd finished painting, because if I'd have left them there I wouldn't have been able to get to every nook and cranny. But I used some, oh god, what's it called? It's just an ordinary glue, but it's supposed to be stick everything to anything, but it wasn't, so I ended up UV resining it together, and that worked a treat, because I could get round with the lamp or all sides, whereas if I'd have been using that glue I'd have been sat there for days trying to get it to stick. On the skull itself, where it looked all manky around the eyes because it hadn't stuck, I put on some embossing powder, and you can see some on the head too, like a metallic, and then just use my heat gun to make it stick out a bit more, so it looks more rustic. Then added a wash to it later on. I wasn't being careful. I just throwing everything at it really. And you see there that the ladders aren't stuck at all, but they will be eventually. But yeah, the wash around the eyes, make it look even more aged. And then the teeth, look like they've not been brushed in years. And the more wash you put on, the more of a build-up you get, so it looks more aged, more decrepit. And I put on the green to just highlight it a little bit. You see I use my fingers or a sponge, or not a sponge, the cloth. But I like to use my fingers mostly. That's why my nails are always disgusting, because I've got all sorts under them, even though I wash my hands. Yes, I'm there forever getting my hands into everything. But I have another skull left. I have a pink one. If I can remember, I'll try and stick the video in, just in case you haven't seen it, into the description box. Because the pink one didn't work. But I think I'm going to do this again, but put a light box underneath it and make it a little bit different, but still fantasy. I really enjoyed this. It's something that just came out of my head. And usually I'm not very, very good at thinking out of the box or thinking of stuff that I can do myself. I usually copy a lot of stuff. But I really enjoyed doing this. I mean, that glue, the turner, it did not hold it at all. It's rubbish. But then I highlighted the glasses, excuse me, with the gold metallic pen. And the coin, I made that a bit more shiny. And added a bit of gold here and there with the gold pen again. But what I did is I put in a little cap and squished my pen down a bit more so I could get it out and use a paintbrush. And it worked well, worked a treat. And this I've put on now is a mix of a glitter paint, a glitter gloss, and glitter sprinkles and ordinary glitter. And it just makes it look magical. Really pretty. And I used the paintbrush to add it. And having it on the mat is a lot easier. But the green glitter, I just put my paintbrush in the pot itself. And you can see that the gloss is white, but it actually dries clear and twinkly. So if I wanted to, I could have just painted the whole thing with it. But I wanted to add it in little bits and bobs. I didn't want it everywhere. So it sparkles without being over the top. I really did like this. But I think the next time I'm going to think about where I put the light box. See, that's where I broke it. The light box just sort of hangs out. I need to find a way of fixing it in, so then it can be still used and batteries can be changed without it being too loose. I just kept adding bits and bobs more, but I really enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. It's light on and off. Come back soon. Thank you.